Uber to raise minimum wage for drivers in France. It's important to know what Uber and Lyft are doing on the other side of the world. Well, Lyft isn't international. I think they're in Canada. I think that's it. Sometimes paying attention to what they're doing elsewhere can kind of give you like a precedent for what might happen here. Uber Technologies will raise the minimum wage it pays drivers in France as part of a wider agreement between ride-hailing companies and driver representatives in the country, the company said on Wednesday. Drivers will earn a minimum income of €9, pretty pathetic, which equals out to be $9.85 American per trip. Actually, no, I take that back. Per trip, not per hour. Let me read before I throw my opinions in there. So drivers will earn a minimum income of €9 or $9.85 per trip, up from €7.65 they were earning previously, and will have a guaranteed income of €30 per hour and €1 per kilometer. This is gonna take some like heavy level converting so I can my American brain can understand. Convert to dollars and miles. This is AI by Google, bard.google.com. You can see Bard may display inaccurate information, including about people, so double check his responses. It's not, I've called it being wrong sometimes. I just want to share that with you guys that, you know, I acknowledge sometimes it can be wrong. So convert with math, it's usually on point. As of today, January 1st, 2024, the exchange rate is approximately €1 equal to $1.13 to $1.13. So €1 per kilometer would be 70 cents per mile. Not that great according to driver standards. However, it is great that it's they're gonna get €30 per hour, which God, I have to do more conversions. €30 to USD. So that's $33 per hour. That's pretty big. Like on a like decent day, I'm making $33 an hour. So that's for that to be their minimum. That's pretty good. Yeah. And that. Oh man, actually, I think I need to brush up on my French. Parlez-vous français? I need to go drive in France. These changes in hourly income guarantee and minimum wage per kilometer will be implemented by May next year. I'm guessing this was written 2023, so May this year, 2024. While the wage increase in revenue per trip will be in effect from February, so even sooner. Oh, I need to update my passport. Bloomberg News reported on Wednesday that ride-hailing apps Bolt and FreeNow have also similarly raised the minimum wage. Earlier this month, the European Union provisionally agreed on a bill aimed at giving employee benefits to workers at app-based platforms such as Uber and Deliveroo. App-based delivery workers are usually treated as independent contractors rather than company employees, which means general minimum wage laws do not apply to them, right? That's the same thing that we're experiencing on the American side, which is why they can't call it a minimum wage in America. They can kind of just call it a minimum like floor. The proposed bill on gig workers' rights that has to be formally adopted by the European Parliament and Council will prevent workers from being wrongfully classified as self-employed, which results in them missing out on important labor and social protection rights. This is the exact same fight that we're experiencing over here. The package of guarantees on which we have just agreed proves the strength of sectoral social dialogue in France. A New York State appeals court had earlier this month upheld the minimum wage law for app-based delivery workers in New York City, which would require companies to pay them $17.96 an hour and raising to nearly $20 in April 2025. That's true. Remember, I spoke about how the TLC Commission sued Uber and Lyft. Well, the TLC Commission convinced the I can't remember the government body's name. This Secretary of State, I think, something like that. She actually sued Uber and Lyft on behalf of them, and that's how this thing came about. So that's pretty dope. Like that's actually really good. And even though this feels like, you know, this isn't America, right? You have to pay attention to international news when Uber and Lyft goes, because it matters. Government bodies see this happening in different countries and they say, I want that, right? France saw this happening in New York. What they say, I want that. And they're making it happen. The same thing happened for Canada. I don't know if I have that story pulled up here. Yeah, the same thing's happening in Toronto. So Toronto City Council passes motion to rescind rideshare drivers cap. So in New York City, the TLC, whether you like it or not, they actually have a cap on how many TLC license plates there are. They don't cap how many rideshare drivers there are, but they cap how many people can get the proper license to become a rideshare driver. It's about 70,000 right now. Toronto sees that in New York City, and they're trying to implement it in. I've been following the story for a while, and if you're new here, I'll give you a quick update. I don't remember what the number was, but they tried to put a cap on it. Drivers aren't happy about it. Passengers aren't happy about it because what will happen is, well, potential new drivers aren't happy about it. If you're currently a driver, it's a good thing because with less drivers being available, it'll create an artificial demand for surge pricing. Customers don't like that. Uber and Lyft don't like that. Only current drivers like that. So this is something that's meant to protect current drivers. But what the city benefits from it, right? This is something the city of Toronto is doing. What the city benefits from it is that more people will start to use their public transportation because Uber and Lyft are so expensive, and it will actually lower congestion, right? The less cars are on the road, the more public transportation. I saw a really good photo. I'm not gonna go look for it now, but I'm gonna go look for it now. Why not? Why not? This is a good comparison with what I'm like really kind of talking about. So here you have X amount of people. It looks like to be 60 people, right? So you have 60 people. Here's what 60 people look like in a bus, right? Now here's what 60 people look like in cars. You can see it's a significant difference in the traffic levels that this can cause. It is in the city's best interest to lower congestion through this means. Even New York City, like that's one reason they did it. They even go as far as like saying if you drive in certain parts of Manhattan, you're gonna have to pay toll. It's a congestion toll. That's something that starts this year too. So this is an update. Uber threatened that they would sue, and this is how Toronto is responding to the threat of the lawsuit. Toronto City Council voted unanimously Thursday to pass a motion from Mayor Olivia Chow, who's the one that started this, on rideshare caps as a lawsuit from Uber was looming. Mayor Chow introduced the motion at City Council on Thursday evening to rescind the rideshare cap, calling the city manager to file a report to council by late February. Chow says that she met with major businesses and the number one issue was congestion. Just told you, that's why they want to do it. And I've been to Toronto. Toronto does have congestion problems similar to New York City. It's a great place. It's nice. In a statement to Global News, a spokesperson for Uber Canada says they welcome the reversal. By reversing their arbitrary rideshare cap, City Council is providing temporary relief to the hundreds of thousands of Toronto Canadians who use rideshare and to the drivers who can use the opportunity to earn extra income, reads the emailed statement. However, despite the reversal for now, Uber Canada says they're still willing to go down a path of litigation if needed. So they're trying to protect their future here. It's in Uber's best interest not to pay out extra in surges. Their business goal is to saturate the market, which will decrease how much they have to pay drivers. It's the truth, right? They're outwardly saying it. I'm telling you it's the truth. And I can also tell you that there's things drivers can do to make more money. Both can be true. Mayor Chow has signaled her intention to bring back a permanent rideshare cap in early 2024. If Mayor Chow was truly interested in reasonable, data-driven, evidence-based policymaking, she would allow city staff to run a comprehensive process, reads the statement. And I think that's fair. I'm not going to say I'm 100% on Uber or I'm 100% on the city. I think that if you're going to make a decision, whether it's in America, I know Minnesota has some things, New York has some things, California has some things, we as drivers, if we're going to make a decision, we need to make that decision using facts and numbers. Whether you disagree with the decision, that's different. But if you're going to try to implement a process, you need to study the potential repercussions of the process. You need to study the current state of that process. And you need to have facts behind you. And that's probably why she canceled for now. She probably had no facts, no studies done. It was arbitrary, as Uber says. If you want to go ahead and do it, do it. Not that I support it, not that I'm against it. Have some facts. You're playing with people's lives here, real people's lives. You need to have facts to base your decisions, or you're not even going to be in office very long.